I was hoping I was gonna come into this battle that scene where something related, but nope. I'm still messing with the green thing.
Joshua, grab your periodic tables, grab your calculator.
Although that's probably That's probably Southwest. Probably Southwest.
I went to Southwest.
You did?
I went to go see that.
Well, okay. Well, we're in East right now.
That is true. I did wear an East sweatshirt.
Just like when I went to watch the Nutcracker, I wore a.
Thank you. Next door.
I went to watch the Nutcracker and I wore my East gear, so just have to let them know. You guys are suspicious right now.
I don't like Southwest.
Really? I agree, honestly. When we competed there last year.
¿Quieres, Eddie?
Ya, cállate, perro. Ir animal, vas a caminar hoy. Angel.
Did you get a cut?
Huh?
Did you get a cut?
Oh,
You're
maybe
lying.
you were there.
You're lying.
You did, Eric.
No, I
Did you
didn't.
get a cut?
When I called you first, I don't need a cut.
Yeah.
Whoa, did he actually get a cut?
Yes, oh my god.
Oh my god, you look great.
Thank you.
Just to get me.
Wait, Cheeto, are you skipping today?
Hey, Ramos!
Is he skipping today? Is he skipping today?
What?
Is he skipping?
We said this is what I'm asking.
No, baby.
Why?
He said Max.
He's like, what's because it's logo? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing today? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, not on this Monday for our question of the day. We have lots to do, so we're going to get to it right away. I have your quizzes. I will get them back after we get this started today, ladies and gentlemen.
I took AP Chem.
I had to.
That's good. Do you teach that? No, why?
Oh, you don't?
Never thought I kept in my life.
I don't know.
I don't know. We haven't offered it in 3 years. Mr. Arts used to teach it.
Well, it's you.
No, it doesn't mean it's me.
Yeah, honestly. I'll take it next time.
It may be chunky.
Yeah. You got another one.
Here, give me that one back. Quit hogging them all. What the heck is your problem? Give me that. You got one on your desk right there. Quit hogging. Let's go. That's right.
I feel bad. I said it. That's not bad. I'm sorry.
I give you like 10. You lost
We'll have a whole collection of them up there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Because I don't think
D-ball, put it away.
too stressed.
All right. So you're going to need a calculator for today's activity at the end of it, not right at the start, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know. All right, attendance. Josh, man, Achilles. Where's Achilles? No Achilles. Eric, right there, sorry. Ariana. Irving. No.
I just watched it too.
Perfect.
Who talks to you?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, again, I will get you your quizzes back in a little while. I want to get started with this, ladies and gentlemen, and get moving on today's activity. So I handed you a packet, and it says, How much is a mole? Chemistry Unit 5 worksheet. We're going to figure out how much a mole is today. I got an easy activity for you today. We're going to give you some time today, ladies and gentlemen. But I want you to turn to the third page where it says exercise number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Exercise number 2. Okay? So... All right, so I need someone to come up and tell me what number that balance is reading when I tell them to. So somebody needs to come up who's volunteering. Good, good, good. Come on down.
I think I'm good.
Angel, go.
All you got to do is read me the numbers. So, right up here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yay, Spider-Man.
Now hang on, I'll tell you when. Ready? I'm giving you a countdown because we got to be down to the second. 3, 2, 1.
216-079.
I assume there was a decimal in there.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So write that down, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, again, on the page that says exercise 2, just like I'm showing you there, the time was 9:15 and 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. 9:15 and 30 seconds. Okay, where it says unit, write that number 216.079 and the unit of grams.
You can't delete it.
Unfortunately, the same is true of students.
That wasn't as fun.
Yeah, but it's still true. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, that one we're going to let sit. That one there isn't anything we can do with now until tomorrow when we come back and take the mass and the time again tomorrow. So let's go to page number 1, ladies and gentlemen. The mole is the most fundamental concept in chemistry. No, you now know that 1 mole is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms or molecules. This is a very large number. The following exercise will help you better understand just how large Avogadro's number is, and more importantly, just how small atoms are, ladies and gentlemen. Each student will count out 500, let's leave it at 500, alfalfa seeds and place them in a weighing boat and record the total number of seeds and the total mass. Now, I will let you have a partner today if you want, okay? Then you need to do 1,000 seeds between the two of you.
500.
Each, yes, good, you got it down. These are alfalfa seeds, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what they look like.
Oh. Yeah.
These are alfalfa seeds. Yes, all you got to do is count out 500. 1, 2, 3. Now, my recommendation to you is to not count from 0 to 500 seeds and hope you get it correct. Because about the time you get to 250, 260, 270, somebody's going, whew, I got 50 done. And you're going to be like 51, 52. I'd have to start all over. So my suggestion is to take and make piles of 20, piles of 25, something like that until you get to 500 seeds. Okay? Now, you will have the whole lab area to work with. There will be 2 people on each side, plenty of room to spread out. In the container that is there are more than probably 5,000 seeds, so you've got plenty of seeds to work with as well. Now, moving these seeds is sometimes a problem, ladies and gentlemen, because they are kind of tiny and they will kind of stick to your fingers if you use your fingers. So we have some dissecting tools for you that are in the container at the top. People sometimes choose to use their ID or a pencil or things like that. You're welcome to use whatever you want, but you got to count out 500 seeds and you have to record certain information. Okay? Now, the information that you need to record, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Number 1, you need to record how many seeds you counted. 500 is the minimum. You want to go 600, 700, please feel free to knock your socks off. You need to find the mass of a container. So at each station, there are weighing boats that are on top of the balances. You need to find the mass of that container. Write it down. Then you need to find the mass of the seeds, the 500 seeds, and that container. And then you need to write that down. And then you need to subtract these two to give me just the mass of the seeds. And by the way, it cannot be a negative number. So when you do your subtraction, take the bigger number minus the smaller one to get your answer and give me the mass of these seeds. Now, once you have all of those seeds done, ladies and gentlemen, and you have your mass, you are going to come up to my desk and you are going to type your numbers into this table. Now, I don't care which group you are, okay? Doesn't matter to me. That's not this hour. This is this hour, okay? So there are 24 groups. Again, if you work with somebody, that's fine. You can be group 1 if you're the first one done, okay? You're going to come up here. If you work with somebody, obviously it's going to be 1,000 seeds. If you work alone, it will be 500, and you're going to record your mass in here. Once you're done with that, you've got the chance to relax. I'll give you back your quiz. You can look at it, and then we wait for everybody else to finish up. Questions? Now, here's the one thing, ladies and gentlemen. This is literally my favorite lab of the year.
Why?
Because you will finally be quiet for once in class. Because the person who is talking the whole time, the rest of the class will go over and beat the crap out of them because they're trying to count. So it will be quiet in here for once, finally. Even Eric will be quiet in here for once, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So, any questions on what you're doing? Go.
Well, we gotta start counting.
All right. So if you had version A of the quiz, ladies and gentlemen, if you had version A, there are the answers for the first page. If you had version B, there are the answers for the first page, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's different.
Well, yeah, they're different. That's why they're A and B.
Oh, you gave us A and B.
Really? So I gave you a different one if you were sitting next to the person. Yeah, and it's amazing how some of your numbers were exactly the same as the person sitting next to you. So first problem, you were going from grams into moles. Should have used the formula mass, which for magnesium was 24.305, for calcium was 40.08. Three things in your answers, ladies and gentlemen. Moles of magnesium moles of calcium should have been your answer. For the second one, H2 is the diatomic, O2 is the diatomic. You don't need the formula mass for this. It never asks you to go into or out of grams. It began with moles, took you to milliliters. So we use 22.4 liters per 1 mole. In both of these, 1,000 milliliters per 1 liter. 1760. Now, some of you dropped the 0 and made it 176. That is a big difference to 1,760. This was 2,230 milliliters. Those were your answers for those two, ladies and gentlemen. Questions? Get this out of the way. Okay. So the last one asks you to go from molecules of a compound into moles. So to go from molecules to moles, we use 1 mole over 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. Same thing here, 1 mole over 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. Technically should have been formula units. We're not going to worry about it. Sodium hydroxide, NaOH, you got a 0.4. Silver chloride, AgCl, you got a 0.4, ladies and gentlemen. 4.40 moles of silver chloride, 0.945 moles of sodium hydroxide. Any questions on the front sides? What? We're good? Caden, I don't know if you still had a question or not.
No, I'm good. I'm just trying.
Okay. Version A on the back be down below here. So again, this one you were going from mass into liters. For mass, we use formula mass. Formula mass for neon is 20.180. Formula mass for argon, 39.995. Then we use 22.4 liters over 1 mole to get into liters, ladies and gentlemen. 72.2 liters, 46.6. Now, this should not, we didn't give you a lot of time to practice with these two-step ones, which is why I made it extra credit on the quiz. But you should have been able to do this because all this is doing the same thing twice as far as conversion. Going from grams to moles, going from moles to liters, finishing out our problem. Questions, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
Go.
Did I lose a point because I did all this extra stuff for no reason?
Did I lose a point on which? On the back?
Yeah.
I only made it worth 5. I'm sorry. I only made it worth 5.
Okay.
I missed on the front side. It was only worth. I thought it was worth 15 on the front. It was only worth 14, and I didn't think giving you 6 points of extra credit, half again as much as what was on the quiz was appropriate. So I only
So you
gave
just
5
ignored
points.
all that.
So the only thing I ignored. Hang on.
Extra stuff.
Hang on.
Oh, look at all those extra.
You did it.
I was doing it.
Stinky.
No, I got one wrong. I have a secret background.
I got one
Gas station.
all I put the unit.
All right. So I'm sorry, Phoebe. Let me see yours real quick here.
Like I got the equation right, but I was all that extra stuff at the bottom.
I didn't even look at that extra stuff at the bottom, to be honest with you.
Because I thought
And I wish you hadn't either. Because again, one of the things I told you, ladies and gentlemen, is that your work, when we go to liters this unit, has to be in what? When you're going from moles to liters in this unit, when you're talking about a gas, it has to be in under what conditions?
Isn't it?
STP.
Yeah.
That's the 273 Kelvin. That's the 760 millimeters of mercury. You didn't need to do a darn thing with it.
I thought you
It
were, like,
wasn't
trying to
part of
trick
your
us.
problem. What?
I thought you were just trying to. Like,
No,
trick
I'm
us.
not trying to trick you. That's why I'm sorry. I thought I made that very clear for you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I thought I made that very clear for you. I'm not trying to trick you. Okay? Not trying to trick you.
I don't know what that is.
Okay? All I'm trying to do is see if you actually know what you're doing. I have to tell you STP. I have to. That's what these conditions are. They mean STP. Okay? So in reality, in this problem, you don't, to get to liters, that's all you ever have to do. 22.4 liters over 1 mole or 1 mole over 22.4 liters. That's it. That's the whole end of it. Questions? All right. So ladies and gentlemen, you can keep your quizzes. Just about everybody took them. And besides, it's real easy for me to make up extra versions of these quizzes. So I do that. So, and to be honest, doing what the problems on there were ones I told you were going to be doing. So again, they're yours to keep, ladies and gentlemen. You can keep them. You can look at them. You can do what you need to with them. All right. Let's take a look at the lab or the activity that you just did, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here's how this is going to work. You are going to do the same calculation twice. So take out a calculator, make sure you have one available. One, we are going to use the class set of data. So I'm going to show you how to do the calculation. We'll do it over here under the class data side. But then, ladies and gentlemen, afterwards, you will have to do the calculation using your data. Now, if you did it with a partner and you have 1,000 seeds, fine. You'll both use the same numbers. If you only did 500, you will use your numbers, okay? But the first thing we need to do is get the numbers off of our class data. So, holy cow, we did 10,000 seeds. By the way, why do we make you count 500? And don't say because I wanted you to be quiet for a little while. That is a bonus for me. That is not why. To get a what's that? To get an accurate number? Okay, that is true. Look at the numbers up here, ladies and gentlemen. Would you say they're close? Now, again, look at the ones that are 2 point something. How many seeds did they do? So really, we're always around 1 gram for 500 seeds, correct? Mr. Brand? Well, I'm in the middle of class teaching, yes. Sure. To call Schunard. Because she uses it more than I do. The kid should be in there, but did they go in through the launch pad? Okay. Ask Schunard because I don't know. I honestly don't. Okay, thanks. Bye. So all of our numbers are really close, ladies and gentlemen. You counted out 500 seeds. How much did we get for a mass? 1 gram. 1 gram. Each seed has a mass of about 2 milligrams. 2 milligrams. That's the extent of our balance back there, is it measuring in milligrams, 0.001 gram. We need to do so many seeds because it's the only way we get a decent number of them. Now, the other day we did things in the mole versus mass lab with washers, with nuts, with paper clips, with things like that. Those things are manufactured. So would you expect the mass of each nut, of each washer, of each thumbtack to be similar? Yes, probably. I tried doing that lab first with my conceptual chemistry class, and I did it one year and I used candy corn, and I used sunflower seeds, and I used something else, and I found out it didn't work out well for me. Why? Because while those things are manufactured, they're not necessarily manufactured to be the exact same mass each time. Sunflower seeds, some are big, some are small. Same thing with your alfalfa seeds. Not every one of them would have had the same mass, even if we had a balance where you could mass each one individually. So we needed to take a large enough sample to where hopefully it was a random sample of the alfalfa seeds and it gave us a good average. Now, one of the things I know, even for 500, this may not be a very good number because they do vary some, right? But we've got 10,000 seeds here that we're going to use, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 10,000 seeds here that we're going to use, and we're going to use a mass of 20.083. So this is what we're going to use for 20.803, sorry. And this is what we're going to use for our data as a class, okay? So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's our first one that we need to do. Let me get to my stuff so that I can do the writing on there. Good, perfect. Put it in the cabinet, please. Okay. All right, so the mass of an individual seed, ladies and gentlemen, for that we are going to use these numbers. 20.803 grams divided by 10,000 seeds. Somebody do the math and tell me what we get. Come on, let's go. And the unit is grams per seed. Sorry, I ran out of room. Okay. Now, use your data over here. What was the mass of your 500 seeds divided by 500? If you worked with a partner, what was the mass of your 1,000 seeds divided by 1,000, ladies and gentlemen? But we're talking about a very small number here. We're talking about 2 milligrams. Okay? That is the number that we are talking with. That is a very tiny amount, correct? Yes? No? Maybe so? Good. Does anyone need more time on this calculation? Now, here's what I'm going to tell you as well. When you are done with one calculation today, do not clear your calculator. You are literally going to be using it in the next calculation that we do. So in your calculator, ladies and gentlemen, you should have taken these two numbers, your data, and divided it. I will do the calculation from now on for our class data for you. So here we go. How much would 1 mole of seeds weigh? Well, we have the grams per seed, correct? Yes? Okay. So I'm going to lose my numbers here, so I hope you've got them, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so here we go. Second calculation. That same number that I had above, 0.0020803 grams per seed. I'm going to take that times. How many seeds are there in a mole? Come on, how many seeds in a mole? Say it louder because you're right.
6.03 times 10 to the 23rd.
A mole is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd of anything. Now that goes on top. Over 1 mole. What happens to our units here? What cancels? Seed and seed. Now again, I'm running out of room, so I'm going to put my answer down below here, ladies and gentlemen. So that number that you have in your calculator, your number, you're going to do the same thing on the other side. You're going to take it times 6.02 EE23. And that is the mass that we are going to get. In this case, 1.252. We're going to make life easy for you. I'm going to put everything in 3 sig figs. 1.252 times 10 to the 21st grams per mole. That's the number without scientific notation, ladies and gentlemen. There's thousand, million, billion, trillion. Okay, that's what it is. I don't know. But this is thousand, this is million, this is 1.250 billion trillions grams. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's how many grams it would be. Okay? That's how many grams it would be. So you need to do your calculation over here. Again, your number times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. You should end up with a number to the 21st power if you do it correctly, ladies and gentlemen. Questions?
No.
Anyone need more time? Now again, keep this number in your calculator, ladies and gentlemen, because you're going to use it for the next problem. Now, here's the problem with grams, ladies and gentlemen. You and I are not used to grams. So let's convert this into a unit we are more used to. 1 pound equals 454 grams. So the number that we just had as a class was 1.25 times 10 to the 21st grams per mole. Now I'm going to use this as a conversion factor, ladies and gentlemen. What part goes where? What unit, grams or moles, am I trying to cancel? Okay, so where does grams have to go here? So I'm going to take and put the 454 grams on the bottom, 1.00 pound on top. Okay, so the number in my calculator, which I already have in there, I'm going to divide it by 454. That works out to be 2.76 times 10 to the 18th pounds per mole.
So you divide it by 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 2, 3, 6, 9.
Million, billion, trillion.
6 million.
2.76 million trillion pounds of those tiny little seeds, ladies and gentlemen. Just to give you an idea. All right. Now, again, when farmers go to buy alfalfa seeds to plant it in their fields, they don't go out and buy small quantities. They buy it by the 50-pound bag. Can you give me, just to help us visualize, something else that is sold in the store in 50-pound bags? Something else that when you go to the store, you might buy in a 50-pound bag of it. Okay? If you're at a Sam's or a Costco or somewhere like that, I don't know if they have a 50-pound bag at Festival?
Sugar.
Again, if you're at a Costco, if you're at a Sam's, I agree with you. And I'm not saying these things don't come in those bag sizes. But normally when you're walking down the aisles of Festival, you don't see the 50-pound bag of sugar or 50-pound bag of rice. Dog food. At the front of the store, though, they have big bags of dog food normally. 50-pound bags, 40-pound bags. Charcoal is another thing, ladies and gentlemen. 20, 30-pound bag of that. Okay? Now, you're right. Rice and sugar and flour and all those can come in those bags, especially if you work at a place like Little Caesars or a restaurant. They probably get it in 50-pound bags. All right, so the question is, how much is this in 50-pound bags? How much is this in 50-pound bags? So we're going to take the number that we still have in our calculator. 2.76 times 10 to the 18th pounds per mole. Now, when I'm doing unit conversion, ladies and gentlemen, I like to put one unit over the other. When I'm writing an answer at the end, I don't care if you put it all on one line with a slash in there. It's however you want to do it. But for me to do unit conversions, for me to use the 50-pound bag, okay, 50 pounds here, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, it doesn't spell it out like it did here. 1 pound equals 454 grams. What does 50 pounds equal? One bag. One bag. Okay? So what goes where here?
The 50 on the bottom.
50 pounds on the bottom, so the units will cancel. One bag on the top. So that works out to be, are we going to multiply by 50 or divide?
Divide.
I now get 5.52 times 10 to the 16th bags per mole. Okay. So one more time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this for you. Billion, trillion, or sorry, thousand, million, billion, trillions. That's 55,200 trillion bags of seeds. That's how much one mole of those tiny little alfalfa seeds that you just counted would be. 55,200 trillion 50-pound bags. 1 mole of alfalfa seeds, those tiny little seeds. Here's 1 mole of magnesium atoms. That's it. That's it. What's that tell you about atoms, ladies and gentlemen?
Super small.
Incredibly small. Incredibly tiny. Okay? I mean, those things are annoying to count. They're tiny, they move all over the place. Eric spills them all over the balance. You know, hard to do. Okay? Think of how tiny these things are compared to that. Okay? Think of how tiny these things are. So, what have you concluded about Avogadro's number? I don't know. You tell me.
Super small.
Yes, Avogadro's number is super small. Really?
Yeah.
How much time do we got?
Like 2 or 3.
2, 3 minutes? That's it? That's it? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, go to the back page. It has been estimated that there are 7 billion people living on Earth.
Yeah.
1 mole of pennies, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd pennies, are equally distributed amongst every man, woman, and child. 1 mole of pennies split out amongst everybody on Earth. And you then try to spend your money at a rate of $10,000 per minute. My question is to you, how long in years do you think it would take a person to spend his share of the money? So I want you to put down a guess of how long you think it would take a person to do that.
1
And
second.
tomorrow, we'll show you the calculation.
1 second.
By the way, what?
At least 3.
At least 3?
Yeah.
3 years?
Sure.
You're spending $10,000 a minute. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Passing period between here and your next class, you would have to spend $50,000. $50,000. You could basically buy a new car during passing period.
That's wild.
And then think about how much you would have to spend while you're in class for 71 minutes.
That's wild.
That's $750,000 you would have to spend almost during class time. How long is your money going to last?
Not long. Don't let Andy go Lego.
Calculators, make sure you put them back before you leave. You've been very good about it. Don't mess it up now.